Welcome to day 53 of our 365-day Bible journey. Today, we continue through the book of Numbers, covering chapters 31 and 32. In these chapters, we witness Israel's battle against Midian, God's instructions for dividing the spoils of war, and the request of the tribes of Reuben and Gad to settle outside the Promised Land. If you're new, welcome. You can start today and continue for 365 days, or use the playlist link in the description to catch up and complete the Bible in a year. Tomorrow, we'll conclude the book of Numbers with chapters 33 through 36, where we'll review Israel's journey, God's final instructions before entering the Promised Land, and the laws of inheritance. Let's prepare our hearts and enter today's reading. Numbers chapter 31. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Take vengeance on the Midianites for the children of Israel. Afterward you shall be gathered to your people." And Moses spoke to the people, saying, "Arm some of yourselves for war, and let them go against the Midianites to take vengeance for the Lord on Midian. 1,000 from each tribe of all the tribes of Israel you shall send to the war." So there were recruited from the divisions of Israel 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 armed for war. Then Moses sent them to the war, 1,000 from each tribe. He sent them to the war with Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest, with the holy articles and the signal trumpets in his hand. And they warred against the Midianites, just as the Lord commanded Moses, and they killed all the males. They killed the kings of Midian with the rest of those who were killed: Evi, Rakem, Zur, Hur, and Reba, the 5 kings of Midian. Balaam the son of Beor they also killed with the sword. The children of Israel took the women of Midian captive with their little ones, and took as spoil all their cattle, all their flocks, and all their goods. They also burned with fire all the cities where they dwelt, and all their forts. They took all the spoil and all the prey, people and animals. Then they brought the captives, the prey, and the spoil to Moses, to Eleazar the priest, and to the congregation of the children of Israel, to the camp in the plains of Moab, which are by the Jordan, across from Jericho. Moses, Eleazar the priest, and all the leaders of the congregation went out to meet them outside the camp. But Moses was angry with the officers of the army, with the captains over thousands and captains over hundreds who had come from the battle. Moses said to them, "Have you kept all the women alive? Look, these women caused the children of Israel, through the counsel of Balaam, to trespass against the Lord in the incident of Peor, and there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord. Now therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman who has known a man intimately. But keep alive for yourselves all the young girls who have not known a man intimately. And as for you, remain outside the camp 7 days. Whoever has killed any person, and whoever has touched any slain, purify yourselves and your captives on the 3rd day and on the 7th day. Purify every garment, everything made of leather, everything woven of goat's hair, and everything made of wood." Then Eleazar the priest said to the men of war who had gone to the battle, "This is the ordinance of the law which the Lord commanded Moses. Only the gold, the silver, the bronze, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that can endure fire, you shall put through the fire, and it shall be clean, and it shall be purified with the water of purification. But whatever cannot endure fire, you shall put through water. And you shall wash your clothes on the 7th day and be clean, and afterward you may come into the camp." And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Count up the plunder that was taken, of man and beast, you and Eleazar the priest and the chief fathers of the congregation, and divide the plunder into 2 parts between those who took part in the war, who went out to battle, and all the congregation. And levy a tribute for the Lord on the men of war who went out to battle, 1 of every 500 of the persons, the cattle, the donkeys, and the sheep. Take it from their half, and give it to Eleazar the priest as an offering to the Lord. From the children of Israel's half, you shall take 1 of every 50, drawn from the persons, the cattle, the donkeys, and the sheep, from all the livestock, and give them to the Levites who keep charge of the tabernacle of the Lord." So Moses and Eleazar the priest did as the Lord commanded Moses. The plunder remaining from the spoil, which the men of war had taken, was 675,000 sheep, 72,000 cattle, 61,000 donkeys, and 32,000 persons in all, of women who had not known a man intimately. The half, the portion for those who went out to war, was in number 337,500 sheep, and the Lord's tribute of the sheep was 675. The cattle were 36,000, from which the Lord's tribute was 72. The donkeys were 30,500, from which the Lord's tribute was 61. The persons were 16,000, from which the Lord's tribute was 32 persons. Moses gave the tribute, which was the Lord's heave offering, to Eleazar the priest, as the Lord commanded Moses. And as for the children of Israel's half, which Moses separated from the men who fought, now the half belonging to the congregation was 337,500 sheep, 36,000 cattle, 30,500 donkeys, and 16,000 persons. From the children of Israel's half, Moses took one of every 50, drawn from man and beast, and gave them to the Levites who kept charge of the tabernacle of the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then the officers who were over thousands of the army, the captains of thousands and captains of hundreds, came near to Moses, and they said to Moses, "Your servants have taken account of the men of war who are under our command, and not a man of us is missing. Therefore we have brought an offering for the Lord, what every man found of ornaments of gold, armlets, bracelets, signet rings, earrings, and necklaces, to make atonement for ourselves before the Lord." So Moses and Eleazar the priest received the gold from them, all the crafted articles. All the gold of the offering they presented to the Lord, from the captains of thousands and captains of hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. The men of war had taken spoil, every man for himself. But the officers who were over thousands and hundreds they did not take, although they had taken plunder, they had each brought an offering to the Lord. Moses and Eleazar the priest received the gold from the captains of thousands and hundreds and brought it into the tabernacle of meeting as a memorial for the children of Israel before the Lord. This concludes Numbers chapter 31. Numbers chapter 32. Now the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had a very great multitude of livestock. And when they saw the land of Jazer and the land of Gilead, that indeed the region was a place for livestock, the children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spoke to Moses, to Eleazar the priest, and to the leaders of the congregation, saying, Ataroth, Dibon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Elealeh, Shebam, Nebo, and Beon. The country which the Lord defeated before the congregation of Israel is a land for livestock, and your servants have livestock. Therefore they said, If we have found favor in your sight, let this land be given to your servants as a possession. Do not bring us over the Jordan. Moses said to the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, Shall your brethren go to war while you sit here? Now why will you discourage the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which the Lord has given them? Thus your fathers did when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. For when they went up to the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the children of Israel, so that they did not enter the land which the Lord had given them. So the Lord's anger was aroused on that day, and he swore an oath, saying, Surely none of the men who came up from Egypt, from 20 years old and above, shall see the land of which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because they have not wholly followed me, except Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, and Joshua the son of Nun, for they have wholly followed the Lord. The Lord's anger was aroused against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until all the generation that had done evil in the sight of the Lord was gone. And look, you have risen in your father's place, a brood of sinful men, to increase still more the fierce wrath of the Lord against Israel. If you turn away from following him, he will once again leave them in the wilderness, and you will destroy all these people. Then the children of Gad and the children of Reuben came near to him and said, We will build sheepfolds here for our livestock, and cities for our little ones. But we ourselves will be armed, ready to go before the children of Israel until we have brought them to their place. And our little ones will dwell in the fortified cities because of the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our homes until every one of the children of Israel has received his inheritance. For we will not inherit with them on the other side of the Jordan and beyond, because our inheritance has fallen to us on this eastern side of the Jordan. Moses said to them, If you do this thing, if you arm yourselves before the Lord for the war, and every armed man of you crosses over the Jordan before the Lord until he has driven out his enemies from before him, and the land is subdued before the Lord, then afterward you may return and be blameless before the Lord and before Israel, and this land shall be your possession before the Lord. But if you do not do so, then take note, you have sinned against the Lord, and be sure your sin will find you out. Build cities for your little ones and folds for your sheep, and do what has proceeded out of your mouth. The children of Gad and the children of Reuben spoke to Moses, saying, Your servants will do as my Lord commands. Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all our livestock shall be there in the cities of Gilead. But your servants will cross over, every man armed for war, before the Lord to battle, just as my Lord says. Moses gave command concerning them to Eleazar the priest, to Joshua the son of Nun, and to the chief fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel. Moses said to them, If the children of Gad and the children of Reuben cross over the Jordan with you, every man armed for battle before the Lord, and the land is subdued before you, then you shall give them the land of Gilead as a possession. But if they do not cross over armed with you, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. Then the children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, As the Lord has said to your servants, so we will do. We will cross over armed before the Lord into the land of Canaan, but the possession of our inheritance shall remain with us on this side of the Jordan. Moses gave to the children of Gad, to the children of Reuben, and to half the tribe of Manasseh the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og king of Bashan, the land with its cities within the borders, namely, the cities of the surrounding country. The children of Gad built Dibon, Ataroth, Aroer, and Atroth-Shopon, Jazer, Jogbehah, and Beth-Nimrah, and Beth-Haran, fortified cities and folds for sheep. The children of Reuben built Heshbon, Elealeh, Kirjathaim, Nebo, and Baal-Meon, their names being changed, and Shibmah, and they gave other names to the cities which they built. The children of Machir the son of Manasseh went to Gilead and took it, and dispossessed the Amorites who were in it. So Moses gave Gilead to Machir the son of Manasseh, and he dwelt in it. Also Jair the son of Manasseh went and took its small towns, and called them Havoth-Jair. And Nobah went and took Kenath and its villages, and he called it Nobah, after his own name. This concludes Numbers chapter 32. As we reflect on Numbers 31 and 32, let's remember how God's justice and provision are evident even in times of conflict, while his guidance helps his people navigate decisions that impact their future. His faithfulness to Israel reminds us of his unwavering care for us today. If this journey has been a blessing to you, don't forget to like this video. It truly helps share God's word with more people. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you won't miss a single day. For those following along, tomorrow we'll dive into Numbers chapters 33 through 36, where we'll explore Israel's journey from Egypt to the edge of the Promised Land and discover key instructions about inheritance and boundaries. Now here's today's question. What stood out to you most in today's reading, and how does it challenge or encourage your trust in God's plan? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for being part of this journey. May God bless you as you continue seeking him, and we'll see you tomorrow.